Hi, my name is Karina, and I'm the co-coordinator for the Central Iowa Clean Fuels Coalition. The Central Iowa Clean Fuels Coalition is part of a larger nationwide network of coalitions housed under the U.S. Department of Energy's Clean Cities program. Our coalitions work with businesses, fuel providers, vehicle fleets, state and local government agencies, along with community organizations to foster the nation's economic, environmental, and energy security. We work locally to advance affordable domestic transportation fuels, energy-efficient mobility systems, and other fuel-saving technologies and practices. Since 1993, coalitions across the country have achieved a cumulative impact in energy use reduction equal to nearly 8 billion gasoline gallon equivalents through the implementation of diverse transportation projects. That's equivalent to taking almost 15 million passenger vehicles off the road for a year. The Central Iowa Clean Fuels Coalition serves the Greater Charlotte region of North Carolina and is housed at the Central Iowa Regional Council, a local government agency working to implement these practices in our 9-county region. In 2019 alone, stakeholders within the Central Iowa Territory avoided nearly 5 million gasoline gallon equivalents by reducing vehicle miles traveled and utilizing around 2,400 alternative fuel vehicles. Across the region, we have more than 100 stakeholders and are glad that you're here today to learn more about the success they're experiencing using alternative fuels. Today, we're going to be taking a tour with MacLeod Construction, where you'll hear more about how they've utilized compressed natural gas to power their business through the use of the fuel in their cement mixers. So to tell you a little bit more about their experience with these vehicles and their partnership with Nuovo Energy and Piedmont Natural Gas, I'd like to pass it on over to Bob MacLeod with MacLeod Construction.
MacLeod Construction, we're currently based in Charlotte, North Carolina. We started back in the early 80s as a construction services company and gradually transitioned to where we got into the ready-mix business. And today, most of our operations consist of the manufacture and delivery of ready-mix concrete. When we made the decision back in 2016 to re-enter the ready-mix market after having been out of it for 9 years, we had a unique opportunity as going in greenfield and kind of starting with a clean slate. We were introduced to CNG as an option for fueling through one of the truck manufacturers, and when evaluating it and the costs and the many benefits that we saw potentially with it, we decided it was worth investigating. So we made the decision in 2016 to go exclusively with the CNG trucks for our ready-mix operations. We do all of our own fueling on site. Piedmont Natural Gas handles the pipeline transportation, and then we buy wholesale, and we do all of the fueling here and the control for the operations here. So at this point, we'll give you a little tour of the site and kind of give you an idea of what's involved in making ready-mix concrete and what we do on a daily basis. This is our main plant, main facility here. If you see up on the top there, it's a multi-silo facility. The aggregates are brought up and stored overhead, and then the powder material, the cement and fly ash, are blown pneumatically up into the silos. Concrete production involves aggregates and cementitious material and water and chemicals to accomplish some of the different things we try to do with the mixes as we produce them. We are the only producer in the Charlotte market that is exclusively front discharge delivery, which means that, as you can see, the trucks are all front discharge. They pour out the front instead of the back. We consider that a much safer environment for the field and for the operations. It's much quicker, and we think it gives us a competitive edge. Trucks are a little more expensive to operate, but we think it's well worth it. I got my start in the business out in the field, so I can appreciate what it takes to get the job done, and if we can make it easier and better for the folks there, then it gives us an advantage in servicing and taking care of our customers. We're currently operating approximately 35 different vehicles, from field vehicles, which would be utility style pickup trucks. Most of those would be diesel fuel. We run a dump truck, which is diesel as well. We're currently running 21 ready-mix trucks, 2 over-the-road trucks for our bulk tankers. the bulk tankers that we're pulling with the CNG trucks, and then currently running 15 CNG ready-mix trucks and 6 diesel ready-mix trucks. One of the things that kind of I feel sets us apart in this market is the fact that most concrete producers, if you go across the country, they're more of they consider themselves a trucking company. And we consider ourselves more of a service-based provider. We see the value in putting the extra into the quality of our drivers, the quality of our equipment, and the ability to deliver it and deliver it on time. And we feel one of the areas that helps us do that is the CNG, because we don't have to worry about fuel deliveries. We don't have to worry about shortages of supply. It's direct pipelined in. We don't have to depend on somebody else to get it to us. We have our own equipment. It's a duplex system, so we've got redundancy on the system. It helps us be more consistent and be more on time with our customers. We don't have the price variable that diesel fuel historically has had over the years. This would be one of our typical, this is a T-Rex manufactured CNG truck. We run both the T-Rex and the Oshkosh version.
A lot of times they'll start to work at 4 o'clock in the morning here, and then and they'll finish up around 4 to 5 in the evening. Sometimes they're here till 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening in the summertime. So all during the day, while they're out running the trucks, every time they come back in to load up with cement, they top off their tanks. That way they never get stranded without any fuel. We have to be prepared to provide them with the fuel they need 24/7. So this is a Bauer 23 series duplex compressor. It runs on one set of controls, 2 compressors, and they're set up to run either lead lag, which means they keep up with each other. If one runs more than the other one, it will automatically shut that one down for a while and the other one will come back on. Now from here, the gas is compressed from coming in at about 15 pounds of pressure all the way up to 4,800 pounds of pressure, which we send over to a priority panel. That priority panel determines whether or not it's a truck asking for fuel to be capped at 3,600 pounds, or is it the storage that's asking for fuel that's capped at about 4,400 pounds. We have an enormous amount of storage here, almost 1,000 gallon equivalents of fuel. Our system is capable of putting out about 100 gallons an hour. Most of the time, though, the storage will handle the capacity they need. They can normally fill up in 10 to 15 minutes if they're empty. Now, topping off, it's 5-10 minutes. The fuel is pumped from the compressor about 200 feet over here, and it first goes to a priority panel. Those vessels are 125-year vessels, and we have 9 tubes in there, each one at about 115 gallons per tube. Once the gas leaves, whether it's coming from the compressor or from the storage, it goes to these dispensing time fill stations, and these are just simply detached, hooked up to the truck. You turn the handle on. When the truck's full, it automatically stops. You can tell what the pressures are. There's gauges on the trucks, and there's also a gauge right here that will tell us what the pressures are. One of the things is these cement trucks don't have a lot of miles on them, but they have a lot of standstill time. And that drum's got to be running all the time. And that's why the use of CNG is a big plus, because it really does cut down on pollution. Bob's using about 15 to 20,000 gallon equivalents a month here. He's very progressive with CNG. He has 2 more facilities coming online that will use CNG hopefully by the end of 2022.
This is the area we bring our aggregates in. We bring it in, dump it on the ground, and then we use a loader to put it in and then carry it up the main conveyor, and then it's in overhead storage at that point. We run 2 tankers of our own if we have to. We don't run them regularly, but they're both CNG powered as well, and we run those to bring in powder in to supplement if we get into a jam and trucking companies are behind and can't get us what we need. One of the things we've discovered over the years is we can't control traffic, we can't control what goes on the job site. So once they leave the gate up there and go to a job, we're very limited in what we can control in our time. These trucks cost us roughly $1 a minute to operate. So anything I can shave off of that is, money to the bottom line. So I know where I can control cost is when they cross the gate coming onto the yard to the time they leave again. So if I can make that process faster and more efficient, and then it's good for everybody all the way around. When we made the decision to have the CNG vehicles, one of the considerations was the design of the new shop facility, which again, we were fortunate it was a greenfield operation, so we were building from the ground up. So when we designed the shop, it was designed from the get-go as to be able to maintain inside the CNG vehicles. This is the only CNG certified facility in the Charlotte area because we built it from the ground up, and this with CNG, the safety factors that are required. We had to have an automatic sniffer system that detects any CNG so we can bring the trucks in with the doors down, and then if it senses any CNG in the air, it takes and raises an unbelievable alarm, opens the doors and turns on the exhaust fan all automatically. In installing the CNG, we've picked up some efficiencies in not only the fueling, as we've previously discussed, but also the noise of the mixers when they're running is significantly less than the diesel trucks. So it's a much more comfortable environment to work around when you're working up next to those trucks. CNG we found to be very efficient. There's the benefit of consistent supply. We're not dependent on some of the fluctuations that you see in the diesel fuel market. So by taking that out of the equation, we've been able to make our pricing more consistent and not had to implement fuel surcharges for our customers.
I'm Ben Kessler, Coordinator of Palmetto Clean Fuels for the state of South Carolina. We're very appreciative and support the efforts that MacLeod is doing to support alternative fuels here in the state of North Carolina and South Carolina. Thank you, MacLeod.